Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you made it. You never plead. You never plead for work, friends, for family, especially for women. Now, if you did something wrong, you sit down, you have a conversation, you take accountability, and you accept the consequences. If they still want to keep you around after that, great. But there's still no pleading. You have to understand that pleading is a tactic that narcissists use when they've done something wrong to escape accountability. But you're not one of those. You're not a narcissist. If you feel as though that you have to plead to just even work things out, you've already lost the relationship. It's already over. And boys, you have to accept that. Why are you lowering yourself on your hands and knees just for the mere presence of someone or a group of people over your own needs? Why are you lowering your self-worth to the point of nothing? At that point, you are disrespecting yourself. And something you're not thinking about in the heat of the moment is that you're the only one that's trying to fix this situation. Why try to save a relationship when you're the only one that's trying to fix it? It's not worth it. Go where you're appreciated. You can find a place where you're appreciated if you look hard enough. I'll give you guys a personal story from my marriage. And this is when I was still in my blue pill mindset. I hate using those terms, but it's the fastest way you guys will understand what I'm talking about. We didn't agree on anything. Morals, values, religion. I was religious at the time, she wasn't. The way that we would raise our children, if we had children, we didn't, thankfully. So arguments happened a lot. There were some things going on. She was chatting up another man on FaceTime in my presence. She would withhold intimacy, and then when I would talk to her about it, she would make me believe that I was the problem because I wanted sex. She was completely fine with me turning to adult entertainment to take care of it myself. So the intimacy wasn't there. The attention, the validation wasn't there at all. There was nothing. Yet when we had these problems, I was the one that was pleading. I was the one that was wanting to fix things, but I was the only one that wanted to fix things. I looked absolutely pathetic. There was a conversation. There was a conversation that we had, and it was about trying to work things out. You're gonna laugh at this. It's okay to laugh because it's funny. We were having the conversation, and I literally took her with me to go take a shit on the phone, begging her to stay in the marriage. I looked so pathetic. I learned then that I had no respect for myself. I would take things that far that I would lower my self-worth to embarrass myself like that, all for just the presence of someone. And look, if you have to plead with someone to just change, they're not going to. Then it's better to cut off that relationship than it is to stick in this insanity, because no matter what you do, they're not going to change. You cannot change someone. The only person that can do that is themselves. And pleading with them will only make it worse because they'll see pleading as a personal attack. So pleading doesn't work. I recently tried to have a conversation with a former friend of mine now. And this was quite a few months back. Told him, I said, hey man, we need to have a conversation about our friendship. He disrespected me and my woman at the time. So I said, hey man, we need to have a talk about our relationship. And I didn't hear anything. After that, I didn't plead. I said, okay, well, it's done. This friendship is over. That's the kind of mindset that you have to have because it protects yourself. You can't plead because you're only hurting yourself. And you'll think about that every time you take a shit. Oh man, every time you go through the morning routine, oh fuck. Here we go again. Why? But pleading never works. Matter of fact, it pushes them away. Like I was saying earlier, it's off-putting. It freaks people out. It does. It freaks people out. It creeps people out. As if your own well-being depends on their presence. That's an issue. That's a mental health issue. You cannot be codependent. That's a problem. Man or woman, you cannot be codependent. Now, obviously, women depend on men, but depending and being codependent, two different things. What you're not thinking of in the passion of the moment is that codependence that you're displaying when you're on your hands and knees begging just to be around them. And so that's why I tell you guys, be alone for a while. Work on yourself. Learn to love yourselves. Because in the event that something does go wrong, if it goes wrong, you're okay with not pleading. You're okay with walking away. And it's about mentality. You know, you have to be in the right headspace. A lot of people today aren't in the right headspace. They put so much value in someone else instead of themselves. So when that person or those group of people turn from them, they believe as though they're losing everything because everything wasn't here. It was there. It affects most men, and I was one of them. Never, ever plead. I hit on it so much because so many men are okay with pleading just to be able just to work on things. And most of this happens going to marriage counseling. A lot of that doesn't work out. Why? Because a lot of marriage counselors will have you believe that you're the one that's in the wrong. Time and time again, marriage counseling is always favoring the wife. Always. Whether she did something wrong or not. It's just the way that it is now. Really good example of this is someone that I knew. He was seeking a therapist, and his therapist told him to reach out to an ex. And he did. And he regretted it because it didn't turn out the way that he was hoping for. That's why you got to be careful with going to therapists. I wouldn't advise going. What I would advise is those group of brothers, those band of brothers that I was telling you about. Get that good group of buddies that has your back, provided you have a good standing. And you can call them 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and they're going to pick up and they got your back. Brothers that you can lean on at your lowest time and they lift you up. They give you some of that tough love when you need it and they push you in the right direction. They want to see you do better. Because a lot of the times they'll shit on you for pleading if you're pleading, but they'll tell you that you can't do that. They'll put the reality of things into here. They'll take you out of those clouds, out of fantasy land, bring you back to reality. That's why that's important. If you don't have that, it's a rough life. It really is. So I want to go ahead and recap and wrap this up. Guys, never plead. Not for anything. Don't lower yourselves to the point to where you're disrespecting yourself. Watch out for therapists. Keep a good group of boys around. If you feel as though you're codependent, work on yourself. Be okay with being alone. You have to. Learn to love yourself. And guys, whatever you do, do not plead for a relationship while you're taking a shit. Oh, man. So I hoped you learned from my personal experience. I hope you learned from this video. And if you did, please consider subscribing. And also share this, please. I'd appreciate it. Also, post in the comments. I want to know what your guys' experiences are. I want to know what you guys are going through, what you guys are thinking. I appreciate you guys for all the work that you're putting in. You're doing some real hard work out there. I appreciate it. As always, take care of yourselves up here, physically. Go lift, get fit, and take care of each other. I'll talk to you soon.